Hello and welcome back to my channel. Now today we're doing another stand-up video, another preview, and this time it's the big one. It's Hull, who've travelled down to Pompey today. Now obviously this is a massive game in League One, not just for the season but for both clubs as well. Both clubs currently sit first and third respectively, Hull obviously holding top of the league as it stands. Pompey will want to take points off them, Pompey will want to beat them, Hull will want to beat Pompey. It's just as simple as that. Both teams come into this on a bit of good form. Both teams will want to just batter the other one. It may not happen. I think there'll be lots of goals. Without further ado, we'll get straight into this one. And we'll talk about Hull first and their manager Grant McCann. Now, Grant McCann got linked with a couple of jobs in the Championship, I believe, not long ago. But as well as that, he liked to have a bit of a rant after the Pompey game, if you remember. Now, after the Pompey game, he criticised the first goal, saying it was a foul from Raggy and he wasn't happy, saying he'd get comeback from it. Obviously, he's going to want to come back today, come back and say, right, let's beat them now, show them who we actually are. Because we beat them without a shot on target last time. Now, when you beat a club without a shot on target, that says a lot about them. They scored 2 goals for us last time, but we can't take that for granted. We're going to have to try and put balls in the back of the net ourselves this time. Their away record, they've played 11 away, they've won 6 of them, drawn 2 of them and lost the other 3. That leaves them on 20 points away from home, which is a very good record. The other 22 come in at home. That's a bit different to other clubs that have a very good home record and a not a good away record, or vice versa. Hull have both. Hull have a decent home, decent away, which has kept them top of the league as it stands. Now, Pompey's home record isn't as strong. Obviously, I think Pompey's isn't going to be messed with. I mean, we're 8th in terms of home form. We've obviously played 11 now, won 5, drawn 3, lost 3, which is a fair bit of form, 18 points from that. But then if you look at Hull's away record in terms of where it places in the league, they place 5th. So it's 8th versus 5th in terms of where your form stands at, which ultimately will be a good game, I think. I don't think either side's topping the league in anything other than the actual table. But as it stands, Pompey can catch them with a game in hand. Lincoln can catch them. If everyone wins their games in hand, then Hull drop to 4th or 5th. I think it is. They drop to 4th if everyone wins games in hand. And obviously, unless Peterborough win their game in hand by quite a bit, then Hull drop to 5th. But obviously that's going to be key because Hull will think, well, if we don't win today, Pompey can still overtake us without us even doing anything. Hull will want to take the 3 points. They want to take them simply. They want to take them quickly. They don't want to stand here and be like, right, quick, we need to rush everything. They'll be calm, they'll be collective, and they'll come here to grab all 3 points. Now, 3 of their key players stand at George Honeyman, Callum Elder, and Josh Emmanuel. Now, we all know about George Honeyman, ex-Sunderland captain. Obviously went to Wembley to play in the cup final when we played them. Played in the playoffs. I don't think he likes us very much. But once again, he's going to want to beat us. He's another player that, especially him out of their squad, will want to beat us. Now, I'm going to mention someone else here that normally scores against Pompey. That's Tom Eaves. Don't think he starts at the minute for them, but he's got their best in terms of minutes per goal. He's the best striker at the club in terms of that stat anyway. He doesn't play much, so when he does score, it's not very often. Their top scorer, though, is a man called Malik Wilkes, who has scored 9 this season. Now, that is a very good tally. Obviously, John Marquis scored 2 more on 11. But Malik Wilkes, once again, will be a player to be worried about. I think he plays on the wing, but when we played them away, he looked like the danger man. He was creating chances. He was trying to put them away himself. Some of his decision-making may have been a bit kind of indecisive, but I think he'll be the man to watch out for, especially. I don't think we'll be able to not cope with him, but I think ultimately if you're going to set out to beat any Hull side, you're going to have to shut this man out. Now their top assister is George Honeyman, again, gets involved quite a lot in the middle of the park. I think he loves to set up a goal. He doesn't finish them off himself very much, but once again, he loves to set them all up for the squad. He'd rather the squad be scoring and not him, in my opinion. And we're going to move on to their key stats now, so some of their stats from this season. Now, their shots per 90 minutes, like on targets per 90 minutes, they've had 47 this season. So, but every 90 minutes, they've had shots per 90 minutes, they've had 4.7 shots every game, basically, which ranks them second in the league in terms of that stat. Now, that's going to be big for Pompey, because Pompey are clearly going to have to be dealing with quite a lot of shots or a lot of attacks. Now, Hull, once again, big chances created. They sit top of the league on 39 big chances created, which is massive. If you want to be scoring goals, you've got to create the chances. However, their big chances missed. They've missed 25 of those 39 chances, which places them 6th amongst the teams that have missed the most chances. Pompey don't have many chances, but we put most of them away, so we're quite low. But Hull have loads of chances but don't put them all away, with only 14 of those big chances eventually dispatched. Now their goals per 90 sits at 1.6, which puts them in 4th in the table. Pompey obviously topped that with 1.9, I believe. Not fully sure. Their goals... now we move to defensive stats mainly here, and their goals conceded per 90 minutes currently sits at 0.9. That's a very good stat. Pompey, I think, sit at 0.8, 0.7, which is once again very low. I think both sides like to score goals, but both sides like to keep defences tight as well. Their clean sheets are 10. They've had 10 clean sheets in their 22 games this season. That sits them first in the table. Pompey have had the same though, with one less game played, so you never know. Hull's last 5 games we'll move on to now. Obviously, the first one of those 5 was a trip from Pompey. Pompey took all 3 points there. They beat them 2-0, which left us top at Christmas. Then they faced a home tie against Charlton, which they beat Charlton 2-0. Then they had back-to-back 1-1 draws with Sunderland away and Blackpool at home respectively. Then in their most recent game they had to face a trip from Accrington. They beat Accrington 3-0, which sent them to the top of the table. Obviously Pompey are going to want to end that. Pompey are going to want to sit top after today. We'll move on to the other fixtures quickly now. We'll start off with Charlton, who take on Swindon. Now Charlton sit in 6th, Swindon sit a bit lower. Going to be an average game, I reckon. I'll go for a 1-0 or something if I'm predicting it. Now Crewe, who face Wimbledon as well. I think Crewe will win that. They're casually kind of strolling into the playoffs unnoticed. Not Sunderland. Gillingham play Rochdale at home. Once again, a bit of a low-end League One tie, possibly mid-table. All they want to do is get some points to avoid trying to be sucked into that relegation battle. Now another big game today in terms of the playoff race. That sees Ipswich face Peterborough at home. Once again, both sides will want the 3 points to chase down the playoff pack. Ipswich have 1 game in hand on Peterborough as it stands, which if they win, they will go 1 point away from them. They'll obviously want to win the extra game as well, which will send them above them anyway. Now Lincoln face Northampton. Hopefully Bryn Morris can do us a bit of a favour and at least get a point there, because if they get a point, Northampton do, that'd see Pompey be top of the league if they can beat Hull. Now Oxford face Bristol Rovers at the Kassam. Now that'll obviously be a good game. I think both sides are currently being sucked into relegation form. However, Oxford are in decent form at the minute, which could see them survive by quite a few points. Pompey obviously face Hull at Fratton Park. Then you move on to the Stadium of Light, where Sunderland face a trip from Shrewsbury. Another game where Sunderland will be wanting to pick up some points, chase the playoff black again. And the final game of the week sees Wigan take on Fleetwood. Now Fleetwood lost to them last time, I believe. Fleetwood won't want to be repeating that, especially in their current form of 1 win in their last 9 games. Now I think this is where I'm going to end the video. Not much to talk about. I know Lewis chipped in. I can't remember what he said though. I didn't get it written down. I'll add a clip of me saying it here, as I forgot to note it down. Now I have got Lewis's point. Lewis has said the game of the weekend by far in League One will be a close contested game. I'm feeling a 2-1 win, even though I wouldn't be disappointed with a point. Pompey on brilliant form with 6 clean sheets in the last games, and the highest goal scorers and best defence in the league are going to be looking at going top against a very good Hull side who currently occupy that first position. Hull will be looking to get back to a win after we'll be getting back-to-back wins after a 3-0 win against Accrington Stanley. Although in their last 5 league games they've won 2, drawn 2 and lost 1, which was against us. But like I said, it's going to be a very close game, but I can see Pompey edging a 2-1 win. Now Lewis agrees with me in the 2-1 sense. Obviously this is going to be him just before I predict that. Bit of a preview for you. But he says once again it'll be a very, very tight game, the biggest game of the weekend. I agree with him completely there. Pompey in brilliant form. I think if we hit the 71st minute without conceding a goal, it's a new club record. Can we do it? Possibly. But that's where this Lewis bit ends. Back to the video. But as it stands, that's where this video ends. Hopefully Pompey can pick up 3 points. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Pompey home win. I'm not sure what will happen. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Can we get 10 likes this video? And I'll see you tomorrow.